Hello, world, and welcome to season 3 of South of Hollywood. I can't even believe it, y'all. We're back again. I want to give a big shout out to my first season guest, Rob Diggy. So,
Hey,
Rob, tell us about who you are and where you from.
well, my name is Rob Diggy. And thanks for having me, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, I am from Chicago originally, um, by way of everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that is, but just local Chicagoan, born and raised, and I'm right here in the city doing what I do.
Okay, and that's producing, right? I mean, I see the records behind you. Tell us what you do.
Oh well, I'm a session keyboardist.
Mhm.
So the records you see behind me, went either gold. Oh, sorry, either went gold or platinum
Mhm.
or double platinum or however you want to say it, double gold or whatever. But these are records that I played on as remix records that
Mhm.
actually, when you're part of a record, any part of a record, you're as they say, you're in the running for also receiving, that as well. So Beyonce got a gold record for an album, and I created the remix, then I'm also eligible for something.
Mhm.
So let's say, for instance, if you were a fashion designer and you designed her clothes for the record for the album,
Mhm.
that's your gold record too.
Oh
That,
wow. Yeah.
that's that's your contribution. So
Yeah.
the person that writes the linear notes, if they
Mhm.
wrote the notes for the album, then they can get a gold record or platinum record or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, in my case, these were records that were sent over as remix production records.
Mhm.
By no means are these are written records because I wouldn't be in this apartment right now.
If you ain't wrote them, right?
Right, written record, I wouldn't be here. But I'm still happy to have the
Yeah.
recognition, laying down pianos and guitars on these particular remixes that I heard all over the world. Um,
Mhm.
People don't even know they exist, but they
Mhm. But they do. I got Oscar nominated last year in the same
oh,
way, being a part of the production team.
yeah,
And a lot of people are like, "What did you do to get an Oscar nomination?" I'm like, "Look, when you get your Grammys and Oscars, you tell me how you got yours because it's
right.
a team effort. And so when they get nominated, we all get nominated."
Now, and that's a good thing because I'm headed that way. With some things I'm working on now that
Mhm.
may lead to contingency at some point. So
Mhm.
I got my fingers crossed for that. So yeah, but like I said, the records, um, the contribution
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
I've made towards these records, they sit really well because I can go to YouTube and click on one of them. My favorite is "Check on It" by being
Mhm.
from the Pink Panther movie, and that record is so melodic. I like the chords that I use, the chord structure and the arrangements. Then everybody is pitched in. The bass player pitched in, the guitar player pitched in, myself, and then of course the drums and the vocals were added. Then we had an engineer, so it's like 5 people involved on this record. So we
Wow.
made it, and most of the records up there are 5 people.
Mhm. Yeah. It's a team effort for real. That's
Yeah,
what's up.
and we enjoy doing what we do. So they call me in to kind of do the dirty work. I'm the assassin.
That's what's up. I love it. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about it.
Hmm.
Um, so we like to start off with coming attractions. So I don't know, what you've been watching. It's the start of the new year. Why don't you tell us what you're watching and what movies you've seen recently?
See, I don't. That's the thing. I don't. I watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
I do when I have the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will tell you that I just watched. Um, well, it was a Stranded movie, but I won't talk about that. My most recent one I just watched was a Stranded movie. I forgot the name of it on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and also on BET Plus, Monique's The Reading.
Mm.
I
I
don't
didn't hear
know.
about that.
You
Mm-hmm.
haven't heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Let me tell you something. It's the most talked about movie right now.
Mm.
It's most talked about, and It's about a crazed woman. She does some devious things. She goes to work in this house. You thought she was crazy and precious. This movie, The Reading,
Wow.
I give it away, but I'm just saying what I liked about it as well was the score, because I'm big into watching films, and I'm seeing how they construct the scores. I know we'll get later, but the music was good. I also reached out to the director, who it was a Lee Daniels movie, and this guy in Houston, Texas. I can't remember his name right away, but I reached out to him on Instagram and told him, man, I said, you got a hit. I know there's more to come for him. I was very surprised to see Mo'Nique doing. I mean, you're used to seeing her act crazy, but this one, she's a little bit over the top. Let me get some more light here from you.
Wow. Yes, that's what's up.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. You look good. I mean,
Okay.
light is always better, but you good.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
And knives in my eyes.
That's the problem. That's always the problem.
Maybe that.
You're fine like that. That's totally it.
But
I think first of all, Mo'Nique, I just saw BMF, Black Mafia Family, for the first time, so I think she's in that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but because I guess I don't have stars. So
I don't have stars. I saw it at a friend's house, but apparently it's also a hit, and it's got a big following. So yeah, I saw she was in that, and then I actually have BET Plus, so I actually watch a lot of BET stuff. And right now, my biggest thing is Tyler Perry's what's it called? The
Sisters Oval.
No, the Queen. The
Queen's Men.
Yeah, the Queen's Men. Yes. That show is crazy as hell. I mean, just unhinged. It's like I don't even think they have a script. I think he just has like plot points, and then he's like, y'all improv this, because the lines are just all over the place. The scenes are chaotic. Like, we don't even know why certain scenes are in there. Like, and my thing with fiction is, you have to remember, fiction is like very controlled. Everything in fiction is thought out. It's supposed to be like every single word, you know what I mean? Down to the everything, the clothes, the lighting, everything is decided. So for him to like take such an improvisational approach, it doesn't work. It leads to like I said, just random storylines and chaos. And we don't like in the last episode, there's this whole scene between lovers, and it's just like, I literally was like, where is this going? How does this impact the actual storyline? Like, what is happening in this scene? And
wanted it in there.
Yeah, he just wanted it in there. Like, he don't have no sort of structure.
Right. So,
but I love it though. I'm addicted. I have to watch it because I have to know what's happening. And then Eva Longoria, what's her name? Not Longoria. Eva Pigford is the she's the villain or whatever, but she's the star of the show. She's by far the best part of the whole show.
Yeah, she's like the boss or something, right?
Yeah, she like gangsta boss. Like, so that's the best part of the show. Like, anytime they get her scenes, I feel like they wrote out her scenes. They got her shit together so that her scenes could work. But other than that, I don't know what's going on.
I couldn't watch it. After I saw the scenes, the scenes.
The scenes. I know, because the male stripper thing is also a little bit interesting.
That's why I couldn't. I was like, I'm good.
Well, and I'm sure, he was catering to his audience, because I don't mind that part. I'm happy. There's been movies and TV shows about women strippers forever. So I don't see the problem with male strippers, but I definitely think that he kind of sets it up like it's a weird dynamic. It's just something that's very weird about the men. Like, I don't know. Tyler Perry is definitely in the closet, because the men are fine as hell. And I'm like, we ain't never seen this many fine ass black men on TV. Like, we'll never get a.
Yeah, but I just couldn't. When I saw the men and when they were engaged,
naked.
yeah, I said I gotta go.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you.
Couldn't stick around, so I haven't seen it, and so I'm good with that. But
yeah,
so
I think.
So you mean to tell me you've been on BET Plus and you haven't seen my series?
That's what I said. Yeah, I hadn't even seen that. Yeah.
Don't you start with me. I got a whole 10 series on BET.
What's your series on BET?
The Family Business.
Oh, the Family Business. So you doing the music for that, or?
Did all 10 episodes.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll definitely have to check it out for
Whole
sure.
campaign on Facebook, like, look, y'all check out the Family Business. It's gonna be tight. And that was last year in July, June, something like that. We knocked it out. It was really nice. I got another movie on there called I Got Problems. And some other Christmas stuff. So my name just floats around the BET family, which I like. Because you know what? I used to kind of shun that whole situation. It's not Paramount. It's not you know, but it's a living. Black living versus a white living. And the fact that if I can be on a series, 10 episodes, and make a decent amount of money, and I'm okay, but I'm not necessarily content. I'll be at Paramount or Universal because I know one of those series is going to pay me triple what I was paid, at Viacom, BT, or whatever. So, would I like to be in that position? Oh yeah, of course. But as I'm looking at my life and moving forward, I said I can plant the seeds now, and go over to like I said, Universal, Paramount, or whatever it is, things like that. So I believe it's going to happen. In my heart, I just have to continue to work. I have to continue to be smart about how I do my business. But I do believe it can happen just through general persistence. Just continue persistent and patient about it, and making the right chess moves.
I mean, yeah, you bring up a really good point. Maybe you could talk a little bit more about that. What's been your experience, getting those professional gigs as,
There we go. Say what now?
I said, so yeah, maybe you could talk a little bit more about that, about what it's like getting professional gigs, as a Black man, as a Black musician, being in Chicago, what's been your experience with those deals?
Well, you get hired, of course, to do somebody's film. I got a call today to work on a 8 series for a young lady, and you just plant your seeds. I spoke at if I'm speaking, then normally somebody will get my information and then call me later. So I was speaking at a film class, and the music portion came about. So the guy, my friend Derek Grace, hired me. You know Derek Grace. Derek Grace hired me to come in and do the music portion of it. So, those calls don't come right away. They're like a year later, 2 years, ever. So when they do come, it's time to be ready. So I worked on about 3 or 4 projects for the people at those workshops, film community works, something like that.
Oh wow, nice, yeah.
With that, I work with Christopher Nolan here in Chicago. We are a team. Like secretly, we're a team because we don't always see eye to eye sometimes on the business part. We go back through these text messages but we get it right. We better communication. He always said, just communicate, just communicate, just communicate. So, I may get stubborn sometimes, and I'm sure he's upset because I'm not responding the right way. But at the end of the day, it's not. It's the behind the scenes. But when that curtain goes up, that's it. So I don't care what kind of differences you may have with with a director or producer, and I'm just speaking like generally, you have to work with people, because they're giving you a shot, and you don't want to blow the shot, So it's just like being at a show and you're working and you're getting it. Everybody's like at each other's throats because you can't get it right.
Mm-hmm.
But you get it right when the curtain goes up. Then after the show, you go have a drink of beer. You can go hang out, eat some McDonald's or whatever, and laugh about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to go on regardless. So that said, my hats off to Chris because he's doing a wonderful job, and his movies are now gaining access with BT, although they have already. But I've seen him more so on the BT platform. So my hats off to him. So that's good.
Nice. I know there's a lot of challenges that come with, getting to that level, of being able to, like you said, people get the call and being able to be ready for that. So why don't we just get into your story and you can kind of tell us, how you've progressed in your career. How did you get started, and what were some of the challenges to getting into the music, film and music, or film, TV and music industry? Like, what was that like for you?
Growing up, like every other kid, I think I was just listening to Shaq earlier saying, or Cedric the Entertainer as well. They were talking about their stories, and growing up, you want to do one thing, you don't know, and then you don't know what you want to do as a kid. You're just a kid. A lot of kids have goals from out the womb, like, hey, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be this. My mother never pushed on us. She just pushed on us to be good people. Oh, there we go. It's a big picture.
Even better, right?
Now I feel better. Pushed on us to be productive people. My father pushed us to be productive, get jobs, work. Didn't necessarily say, you got to be a musician or you got to be a football player or whatever. High school, I'll just skip around because this.
Whatever you feel comfortable sharing. Yeah.
High school, I didn't want to go to the high school that I attended because I thought the school reminded me of Cooley High.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't want to be that. I wanted to be at a vocational high school where I could get a quality education. But at Marshall High School, I hated it. First semester, I hated it. But the counselor, she convinced me to stay. Just stay and join the band. I'm like, I don't want to get in the band. I was playing guitar already, just a little bit. I was playing enough to get some gigs here and there, but I wasn't super professional at it, So I joined the high school beginners band as a freshman. Then I played trombone. And throughout that time, my band director saw that I was really good. So he moved me from beginners band. Well, I said a beginners band, but by my sophomore year, he put me in advanced band. Well, after actually 4 months after being in beginners band, because I had adapted my ear and I trusted my ear that I could play. So, time went on, me playing, and everything like that. I wound up getting a scholarship to the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. That helped a whole lot. Scholarship. Still not into anything about film, music, or just steady, still being a student. Although I cut a lot of classes. I graduated, but I cut a lot of classes going to the practice rooms just to practice. I can say it now. I would go out and do gigs, say, for instance, Monday night, Tuesday miss class until, this brainiac, I pay him to do my work for me. Paper done. Can you knock it out? So, but still in all, my parents never really pushed a whole total, you're going to be this, or I want you to be this and stay in this lane and do this. They just say, grow up and be, young men and be productive. That's what it was in our household. So when music was always a big thing in our household. So that was pretty cool because my uncles played, music and things like that. So we kind of picked that up early, which in some other interviews, you can hear all of those stories. How, from the beginning, and how, at 18, 19, being in a college band, marching band, and playing and trombone. I was super good, but I was always third chair. Now, third chair doesn't mean I'm dumb. I can't read. I just, you need support. You need a first chair, you need a second chair, you need a fourth chair. So there were cats in the band that sounded terrible. They were terrible cats. Some of them, I'm gonna keep it real. But I think for me personally, even though it was a first chair trombonist and a second chair, they were super good. But I was better at
hearing.
I'm killing the game on that, and so I developed that really quick, and I wanted to keep that going. But after college, I found my niche a little bit, and I saw it was more music. Things started to progress musically, and my first job out of college was at a music store. Major music. I majored in communications, speech and theater, and I wanted the job at say ABC, CBS, and the interns or the graduates at Columbia College were getting those jobs. Where at my school, at a Southern school, Mid-South school, we didn't have any of those technical. We had technical equipment to with the cameras and switching.
Yeah, to prepare for that level. Yeah.
We had a small room for switching, and I used to go in all the time and see people working with the faders and things. For some reason, it didn't hit me like.
Me too. Yeah.
I thought I wanted to do that, but I wound up on stage, directing. I wound up doing lights a lot. I wound up doing sound a lot. So that's what I was, taking in. And when we have our big productions, like we did a big production of The Wiz, we had the actual books from New York, and I was in a place so I could read. Let me tell you something. The theater director says, Rob, you can't do both. You don't work these lights, which was a very minimal job because we didn't have the technical stuff, the switching and all that. Or you could just stay with the band. And I chose to stay with the band because those records were some hot records. The Wiz had some hot songs. If You Believe, The Wiz itself.
When I Think of Home, that was a hit.
And dope song. So during that time, those were like heartfelt things for me that I could hold on to for life. Wow, I did The Wiz. We did an adaptation of it, and the books came from New York. And I thought that was like pretty cool to sit up and look at all these pages and go, wow, look at that. This is what they play. So I had to learn all that. After college, of course, like I said, jumped into a situation. If I may just speed up a little bit more. Being in the studio with my friends and seeing all them playing, and I was a track maker. I never use the word beat maker, but I can write a track, a song or whatever. And that's all I was doing. So I don't know if you heard of Mike Dunn.
I think so, yeah.
Mike Dunn with The Chosen Few. I have to mention him a lot.
Yeah, I know The Chosen Few, yeah.
I have to mention Mike because he named me Rob Diggy. And I was working with him. I was working with Maurice Joshua. They all had rooms down in his loft. Every loft had a production, but I'm the only one down there playing keys and guitars on everybody's records. So Rob, we need you over here. We need you over here. We need you over here. So I'm playing all these records, and one loft room had a movie suite in it as well as music production. And I walked in. I was like, I bet you I could put music to that. I was watching that little film. He says, oh really? So he says, we'll go get your keyboard and let's see what you can do. So I brought my keyboard and set it up, and I watched the scene, and it was, Eric Lane, don't you? Have you heard of Eric Lane? He played Twan from Trapped in the Closet with the Muscles, the guy with the muscles, R. Kelly's nephew or something like that.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, so
I remember that video. Yeah.
Yeah, so, Eric was the lead character in this, and so that was his first film, by the way, too. So he was sitting on the steps, he's about to cry, whatever it was, and I played this somber, sad music. Man, they fell out in the studio. They was like, "Oh my God, this is so dope," you know. So I knew then that I was onto something. I didn't know what, but I knew I probably managed to get something done. So I wound up finishing the film, and it turned out so well for me that they called me back on that second film, you know. And so that was the start of me doing film.
Wow, yeah.
I walked into it, but I beforehand I was telling myself I didn't want to just remain a beat maker, track writer, maker, you know, composer of music. I didn't want to just do that. I wanted to have something else I can do other than just write a track, write a beat. Because everybody's now was sampling one finger. Everybody's doing one finger. I'm like, I can do better than one finger. I can play with all mine. Like Prince told my friend, he says, I'm paying you to play with two hands, not one. You know, so he was telling me that the other day, but Morris Hayes is a good friend of mine who played with Prince for 20 years. He taught me a lot. And so with that, I just kind of just continue to understand films. Now when I look at film now, I'm looking at from characters, what's the reaction from like the character, how's the music going to ping pong off the character, you know, things like that. And I've gotten so good at it that I can pretty much tell you where music should go. Sometimes you know when it's supposed to be silent, you know. So I've learned that over the years, and I'm still learning because sometimes it's tricky. You know, you have to know where to hit it and where to, you know. So I've learned all that. So with that said, it's a challenge. It's also a challenge. You know, you can't beat yourself up because it's not right. You know, sometimes if it's not right, I say, let me walk away. Let me get on my bike. Let me go take a bike ride. Let me go to the grocery store. Let me just go get away from my apartment. And that's it, pretty much. And then come back and be like, and all the time I'm out, the idea is still in my head that I'm working on this film, and that, okay, I remember this part right here. Let me see. Sometimes I'll hum it into my phone and go back and, okay, let me just lay this area. So now I'm comfortable with now knowing that I have to get this part right. And normally it comes out just like I was thinking, you know.
Wow. That's so awesome. Wow. Thanks for sharing that with us. So like, what would be maybe your favorite project that you've worked on so far?
There are a couple, but I'm really proud of the family business. I'm proud of that. And I did a movie over in Dubai called The Gandhi Murder. That was interesting because it was almost a 2-hour film, and it was action packed. They were blowing up stuff. You know, I was telling the client today that independent filmmakers, as independent filmmakers, we don't do enough blowing up. We don't do falling out of buildings. We don't do that because it's walk in the park movies, holding hands in the kitchen, you know, reading a doomsday letter.
Yeah.
We don't get to, you know, block off the streets with independent films.
Yeah, it's a big budget consideration. Yeah.
Right. So with this budget, with this movie I did in Dubai, they had a huge budget.
Yeah.
It was mostly, some of it was financed through the sheikhs that live there. So they put up a lot of money, and the movie didn't do that well, but it allowed me to have some pictures of what I was, you know, with the orchestra. It allowed me to make some more friends, you know, some colleagues and everything like that. So,
and you actually got to go to Dubai to work there?
Work on the film, yeah. About 6 months to a year, something like that, and then half a year, and then I've gone back since then because these are my friends, you know. And actually, I'm on the edge of canceling my trip in April, unless they say, you know, I just need a place to lay my head, you know.
I know that's right.
You know, hey, I'm coming 8,000 miles. At least you can do. If you say you my guy, you got me, put me up. You know what I'm saying?
And you know they got them big old houses and apartments, so they got the space. Yeah.
I stayed in an actual apartment. I didn't stay in a hotel. Well, I did until they, you know, it was all figured out. And then I stayed in one of the apartments, and I had the best view. Oh my God, it was beautiful. So
That's
Wasn't
so awesome. That's on my bucket list. Okay, especially when it comes to the movies, because I can't go nowhere unless I got some work. So I
well.
definitely want to go and get into that.
Well, let me know when you go. I'll tell you some dope spots you can hang out at. I'm not a big fan of hanging out. Like, say people go to Dubai and they want to go on the sand dunes. They want to.
Yeah.
I rode a horse when I was a kid. Why I need to ride a camel? I rode a horse in the sand before. Why I need to ride a camel in the sand? You know what I'm saying? So
you are so funny.
I didn't have, I didn't get into all the festivities.
The tourism.
Right. I was a local.
Yeah.
When I went back this last time, I was a local. I didn't get into that. So I wake up every morning and hang out. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing? Hey, right. So it was
that's awesome.
But that's how it was. But yeah, even now I'm working with a guy over there that has a film he's doing, and I've already created the theme for it already. So you have to continue to lay your bricks and solidify them and get to work.
That's so awesome. And I watched you go through that online, and I just thought that was so cool, and such a great example for up and coming people. What would you say has been one of your biggest challenges now that you are further along in your career? What do you think are some of the challenges that you face?
I don't know. Challenges. I can't really pinpoint a challenge right now. And I don't want to like put a pinpoint on people that are not supportive. I don't want to get into that because that's your thing. If you don't support, that's fine. It's okay. It's not really. I don't have a challenge right now. I want to answer that and think that maybe there is a challenge somewhere. I don't have one.
You just overcoming every time, always able.
Have to do. I'm gonna just do it. I mean, I can't wait around for anybody. Not so much a challenge. It's a gripe.
Sure.
Not a challenge, but I'm one for always helping people, right? And you tell people all the time, well, when I did family business, I got 100 calls, almost, text messages. Hey, can you get me on? How? I don't know the casting director, but then on the reverse side of things, if I do that, they'll say, well, I don't know the music people. And that's what it has been, because I want to get on the shot. But I don't know anybody. Nobody's talking to me. I've been in, don't get me wrong, I've been in DMs. But don't nobody know nothing. I've been on hours at IMDb Pro. Can't seem to crack that code. And I guess that would be a challenge. So
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
I've been in that situation where I'm not getting the support that I would hope
from the professionals. Yeah.
So I said, well, we're not helping you, because if you get in, where does it leave me? And I'm like, I'm trying to leave you. I'm just, I give you a finder's fee. Family business folks found me. I didn't find them.
I think you're right about that too, because the size of the industry is a little bit it expands and it constricts, right? So like there's more Black people in the industry ever before, but the number of Black projects and where Black people have control is still very small, so it is a bit of a balancing act sometimes, because it's like I work for a studio, and so I feel like I don't know everybody that they know, but I know all the Black people. I know all the Black filmmakers, and doing just that, trying to find a connection where you can get in or where there's a way in. A lot of times I'm very much reliant on the Black connection, because that's the only way I'll be getting in. It's like I talked my way into a Netflix party one time, and nice. And it was a Black girl at the counter, and I was like, yeah, we made a Black movie. She was like, oh yeah, I know them. You could go in. Like, it's that Black connection is the only way it'd be working for me.
Right there, I'm bowing down to you there, because that's slick. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Sometimes you have to finesse it.
I'm the queen of finessing at this point.
You have to, and that's very good. A lot of people don't know how.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with some of my peers that I work with. I'll just put it out there, mad or not, you can delete me and do what you got to do. But they're comfortable where they are. And they don't know how to go in and jump to the next level.
That's right.
Of networking.
Yeah.
It's a strain for some people to say, for instance, send out a text message or DM to Will Packer. Not ever gonna reach out to me. But anyway, it might just be one of those days.
Yes, I'm one of those people. I went to an event at Issa Rae's studio, and I was like, "Can I get a picture?" And my partner was like, "Oh, I wasn't gonna ask." I'm like, "Look, there's two ways to approach people sometimes, and especially in Hollywood, it's very cool. Everybody's very cool. Everybody's very professional, and I appreciate that too, because you don't want to geek out every time you see somebody famous. But when you are a professional and we are networking and we're trying to get something done, there's nothing wrong with using love also. Like sometimes that appreciation, and again, we're talking about with Black people, because I'm gonna just keep it real. That's who I approach. I go to the Black people at the company. Where y'all at? Let me talk to you. Who do you know that you can connect me to? Because I get very little traction the other way. So yeah, I was just like, hey, I'm a fan. You're great. Let's talk about this. Have you ever thought about making a documentary? So I agree with you that like it's about the person that you are and knowing where you are and being able to communicate based on those things, where you are, who you with,
But a lot of times, like I said, a lot of people don't know how, and they lose because they don't. Like I say, if you close mouths don't get fed, I say closed legs don't either.
Oh Lord. So yeah, so let's get into the last part. That's a really good segue. What is your advice for beginners and for people who might be interested in pursuing a career in music or film and TV music? What would you say to them?
Man, it's a lot. It's a lot to that. A lot of layers. I'll give you a few. Like I said, you can start with the socials. Instagram for me is working. Word of mouth, because they know who I am. People from the family business, they know me. Like, these are my friends. Like, I didn't know there was going to be so many contacts in that arena. But now that I'm in the circle, Rob, we need you. I got a call from the director, Trey Haley, who, directs all 10 episodes, all the episodes of the family business. He calls me and asks me after the fact, can you do one of our producers on the family business is doing another film. Can you help? No problem. She'll call you. We'll set it up. My point to that is, if you lay it out, and you're really cool with people and you have a good response, you're gonna get called back. And that's my point. So you have to have a good rapport with people. Use your social networking. Drop some DMs. Letter writing is key. Typing, learn how to type and making sure you got good grammar to be able to type a letter. Hey, my name is, and I do this and I do that. I get right to the point. And I would love to be a part of what you're doing in your next project. Can you add me to your short list? I do that constantly. It doesn't bother me at all. A lot of times I get no. A lot of times I get the response where, hey, you know what? I got your information. We'll definitely be in touch. Great. Move it on. Keep it going. Promotions, marketing and promotions. You have to have a publicist, somebody that's going to at least work for you. My publicist, shout out to Desiree Benson, who's done an excellent job. I should see her in April at NAMM. That's the Music Merchants convention out of LA.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if you're out there, I'll see you. And
yeah, I had a friend stay with me one year that was working at NAMM. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
I go there, but also too, just local networking. Go to these film festivals or outbound film festivals. A lot of people say, "Oh, I didn't know." Like book writers, I know that say, "Oh, I didn't know I could go to a film festival." And
and meet the filmmakers. Yeah,
filmmakers. So that's what I'm saying to book writers. Like I said, writing letters. inboxing. You can do some TikTok, you do some Instagrams, also your socials, but continuously. Oh, and reading up on your craft. Like say, since I do music, I use Logic Pro, and I'm learning every day. I'm on YouTube even now. Oh, what I forgot. What does this do? Let me go back. Let me see what this is. And then I'm finding ways to work my equipment. So you have to work your equipment. You have to also be mindful of what you're buying. Like, making sure you're checking in on YouTube to see what's the hottest piece of equipment. Like my timeline on Facebook is a lot of ads for new plugins, like the sounds, so, this orchestras. I think I was in church and I saw something today. I'm like, oh, Instagram. I said, let me forward it over to my email and I'll come back to it. It was like $24. And I want to hear it. And if it sounds good, I'm going to buy it. And that's another sound that I'm going to use. And another thing, you can write the manufacturers of these sounds. Hey, my name is, I've been using your sounds in this films, and before long they say, hey, well, we're going to put you on this this list, what we call endorsement list, your artist list, and we'll send you over our newest pieces and things like that. So people don't do this. A lot of people I know don't do it. I mean, a lot of people I do know, it's like half and half, but you have to continue to put your face out there. I was browsing Instagram one day and I found a lady that had a magazine. I'm like looking through the magazine. I'm like, she got all these celebrities on here, and she had Howard Hewitt and Darren Henson from the Family Business. She had Gerald Albright, and I'm like, M2 May. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me hit her up. Hey, my name is Rob. I'm a composer. I'm independent. I just finished the Family Business, blah, blah. That always works.
Having a notoriety does help too. Yeah.
It's definitely a calling card. So I do that. And the lady reached back out. We started talking. I'm on the cover now of her magazine. If you go to the Indie Post, you'll see me on the cover of her mag. So you have to continue to put yourself out. You have to be persistent.
Yeah.
A lot. This is my daily job, being persistent.
Yep.
I pray. When I open my eyes, I'm praying, but then it's work.
Yep.
Working late this afternoon on some projects. I got a project in LA I'm doing. Right quick, the ladies, you probably heard of her because you've been out there long enough. Diane Watson, she was an older congresswoman. I'm doing her documentary right now.
Oh, nice. Well, documentaries, that's what I do.
Well, that's what we're doing right now for her. And Howard Hewitt is doing the ending song I wrote. I'm waiting on the lyrics now. Hopefully I should get them this week. He loves the song, by the way. And Danny Glover is doing the narration.
Okay, that's what's up. Well, we're gonna have to DM about that one. Yeah, I gotta see it. Yeah.
And I can do it with my friend, my producer friend.
That's so awesome. Well, this has been really exciting for me. This has been so informative to, just talk about how somebody who loves music can also be in the film and TV industry. And it's great to talk to you about your journey and the success you have, because I've been knowing you for a minute too. And we met at the Real Black Filmmakers.
We sure did.
Yeah. And I think you were giving a workshop about music and stuff for your movie. So that's always resonated with me, that like, wow, I never thought about that. I come from the Limelight generation. We would just download, generic beats and stuff, put it on the background.
But you were supposed to hook up with me, and you never did. And you jetted on me and went to California, and that was it. I thought we was gonna work together.
You know what? Well, listen, first of all, I ain't never had no money. Okay, that was my problem. And in documentary, that's what I said. You get lucky, because if you just have a camera, you can make a documentary. It's not nearly as expensive as fiction. Right. So, but I'm in a different place now. Okay. Now I do work for a studio. So, I definitely want to stay in touch. That's why I so wanted to connect with you.
I'm slide in your DMs too now, for real.
Yeah,
I don't, but not on the slide, but on the slide, I'm sliding your DMs, and we can, because I feel, if you're going in your DM, people DMs, and you meaning what you say and saying what you mean, it's legit.
It's legit. No, that's a good way to do. It's a good way to connect for sure. Yeah.
I'm not one of your DMs like, hey baby, you cute. I want to get with you. Look here, I come a dime a dozen. It's time to work.
Well, no, and that's what I'm saying. And people, a lot of people be like, Ife, we haven't heard from you. When I tell you that I spend 60 hours a week on documentaries and I love it. Okay. So I literally go to bed watching TV. I wake up watching movies. Like I don't have, this is it for me. Like I'm here making movies. And so if you looking for me, you know, yeah, hit me up because I'm working. I ain't kicking it.
I'm gonna drop a DM on you for real.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been so exciting. I hope everybody out there enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. Hit us up. Tell us, how can people find you or follow you? Or is there anything you want them, you know, to keep connected with you? How can they connect with you?
Everything's Rob Diggy, except TikTok is Diggy Dubai. But yeah, Rob Diggy on Instagram. Google Rob Diggy. It all comes up. That's the quickest way. But then Facebook is Rob Diggy as well. So that's it, Rob Diggy.
That's it. Well, y'all got the information right here. Hit him up for your projects. Hire this man. He's going places. That's what's up.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It was great. It was great. It was a great interview. Yeah. I missed my grocery shopping, but it's okay.
Okay. Look, I tried to keep it cute and sweet. You know, I tried.
No, we good. We good. He jetted out. He'll be back. You know, we good.
That's what's up. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on South of Hollywood.
Hollywood.